Good morning, buenos dias. Welcome to Cafecito con HACE. I hope you are well, staying positive and focused on what you can control. My name is Patricia Mota. I'm President and CEO of HACE, the Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement, a national nonprofit organization whose mission since 1982 is to positively impact workplaces by cultivating the pipeline of Latino talent, providing our communities insight, access, and support to be successful in their careers. If this is your first time, welcome to Cafecito con HACE. Please comment, join us in conversation in the chat. Let us know where you are tuning in from and leverage this as a great networking opportunity as you're enjoying your cafecito or your morning beverage of choice. A few asset announcements. If you are looking for your next career opportunity, we've got a couple recruitment events. One with JP Morgan Chase happening on June 21st. Please be sure to check that out. We'll drop the link in the chat. And then a specific communication, marketing, and sales recruitment series event that's happening on June 28th. Make sure to register. Make sure to share your resume if you're looking for that next opportunity. And if you want a little bit of advice, maybe to look over your resume, maybe to talk about your next career opportunity, please be sure to sign up for HACE's Coaching Corner. The next one is taking place on June 29th. And again, you can find all of this information in the chat below or also on the HACE website. Wonderful. So now, please join me in welcoming our special guest for today, Shawn Nottingham, who is the Market Sales Associate at one of our partners, Allstate. Good morning, Shawn.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well today, Shawn. I'm glad to have you. I know we're going to have a great conversation and really get to learn from you and your background. But before we get started, you know the drill with Cafecito con HACE. How do you prefer your cafe or your morning beverage of choice?
That's a very good question. I tell you what, I love my coffee depending on which type of coffee I get. Some coffee is a little bit stronger, some's a little bit weaker. But I definitely love to add a little bit of cream, French vanilla in there, and some liquid sugar. A couple of espresso shots. Definitely kicks the day off right.
Yeah. So you got mixed preferences in terms of the coffee. Folks, we want to hear from you too. Let us know what you're drinking right now or what's your morning beverage of choice. And Shawn, one of the things I love about Cafecito con HACE is being able to just share stories, share conversation with great people like you that share their time to tell us about your background, how you got to where you are. So please tell us about your cultural, your professional background and how you got to your specific role at Allstate.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am Hispanic and Native American. I had started working from a very young age of like 15. I started off in retail working at a grocery store as a bag boy. And then I graduated up and went to retail to work for American Eagle. And then I went to work for an airline, ABX Air, out of Ohio. I became a supervisor with them, and I just continuously growed and thrived in like the area of management. And because I love to teach, I love to show somebody when they come into work, it doesn't have to be dreadful. You can come to work and not have to worry about your boss breathing down your neck or saying something discouraging you. I am definitely an encourager, somebody who wants you to be the best you that you can be. From ABX Air, from the airport, I've kind of went into restaurants is actually where I learned a tremendous amount of my experience from was managing restaurants for the past 15 years. I became a corporate trainer. I've opened several restaurants. And I tell you what, I loved it. Yeah, I love the fast pace. I love the being able to teach. I love it taught me how to go with the flow, especially going up and down through like COVID. There's a lot of changes that you have to face in the work environment. And I feel like you have to be one of those people who you can mold. because as times changes, different preferences, change. Fine dining is not a huge market, and casual dining, a little bit faster dining is what a lot of Americans were getting into. So it takes a lot to like mold and change around that, and I felt like I really excelled at that. And when a lot of restaurants, although they don't have a really good retirement, so looking down and seeing that I didn't have much of a retirement to fall back on, I started to realize I needed to look for another job, another career in a different field. And that's where I come to find out, I got interviewed with Allstate, and I tell you what, it has been one of the best decisions of my entire life. They are encouraging, and they're inspiring, they change, they mold, and they are definitely innovative. They're thinking of the future and the future of their customers and their employees. And I tell you what, that is something that is really inspiring compared to a lot of other companies have that mentality. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Allstate is constantly seeing different changes.
Evolving. I, as being a longtime partner with Allstate, with HACE, I can attest, right, in terms of the rapid change, making sure that pivoting to adapt, right, to the new times. And I think one of the big ones, which was one of the first companies that went 100% remote. I think sold a lot of your headquarters space earlier on, right? Before anybody or any other companies. I mean, that's just one example, but I know there's so much more. And Shawn, I think before we jumped on, you talked about your life list, and I think that's important to who you are as a person. So I'm going to ask you to share with our folks tuning in terms of, hey, think about, I'm asking you, do you have a life list? Shawn, what's your life list? Tell us what that's about.
Well, let me tell you. So, working up through the restaurant industry, it takes a lot of time, and it can take a lot of your personal time and who you are as a person. And some people were definitely meant for that and thrive on that. But when I came out and I started working for Allstate, I started to realize, I have worked so much that I haven't been able to live. All this hard money and work that I put into, what has it really got me? And I'll show you. So right now, I'm actually on vacation, and
you're gonna show us.
I'm
nice, beautiful.
I'm on a cruise ship, and I have an amazing opportunity to live life right now. So my life list, every year I set aside 15 things that I want to mark off my life list. And for an example, like one of them was to go to Niagara Falls, or to go to Cancun. And, it really takes, everything you can when you look back on, like I did last year. And I feel so accomplished. I feel like I have definitely made a move to see life, to feel life, to see the payoff for working so hard. So I definitely love a life list. Believe that everybody should have one.
I love that. And Shawn, you talked about you shifting and pivoting in terms of industries. I think sometimes we get so stuck in thinking that I'm stuck in this industry, like there's no way, but you've got like the transferable skills, you've got resources such as HACE that people want to help. So if you're thinking about pivoting, right, because you had the foresight to say, maybe I can't stay in this industry because this is on the horizon, or it's not enough for my retirement plans and things like that. So you talked about that. So a lot of great nuggets in terms of being able to pivot and transition industries. But then you also talked about importance of enjoying day to day. How are you planning not only for what your career looks like, but how are you enjoying your life, right? And right now you are on vacation and you decided to still join us. So we're happy to have you. But I want to make sure we're also at a pivotal time where we're celebrating Pride Month, right, this year as well. And Allstate has a lot of great ERGs, or you all call them EIGs, right? So these are
EIGs, yeah.
What's that, EIGs?
Employee Impact Groups.
impact groups. And so can you tell us a little bit more about how they are driving positive collective change for a more equitable, inclusive future for all, for your employees, and specifically your Allstate Pride?
Yes, absolutely. So something else about me as a person that I, growing up, was nervous to even talk about, and to this day, you know what? I am proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I accomplished, and I am for the LGBTQ plus community. And as a gay man growing up, it has been very nerve-wracking working because growing up and you're in management, typically there's a lot of males, predominantly in upper management, and you can't. I feel like a lot of people feel like they can't be themselves. And when I came over to Allstate and I was introduced to the EIG, I tell you what, they welcomed me with open arms, with conversations, support groups, constant messages. EIG this month for Pride is got several events all month, outlined several meetings. A lot of us are remote, so we join remotely. We listen to podcasts. I mean, it's so supportive. It's unbelievable. I've never felt this overwhelmingly amount of support like this before, and I feel like I can be me, even to my boss. My boss understands me. She definitely, respects me, and I tell you what, I would work for anybody like that because if they respect you and they, help you out and they understand you, they try to understand you. It is so much worth it because you could be yourself. You don't have to have the pressure of hiding. But the EIG for Pride, they have so much also going on besides just Pride Month as well. They support different prides around the country with events for advertising and marketing and things like that. They also, the EIGs, they send out surveys for all their employees. And Allstate is a huge family. They have several different other companies are all grouped into one. They have awesome partnerships. They have classes, not just for the LGBTQ plus community, but for Alliance members who just want a better understanding, who want to grow their who they are as a person. And I tell you what, it is something that is very impressive, like with grants and different items that they put out there to support. It's unreal. One of the classes that I went to actually had this saying, and I got to make sure I say it right so that way I don't mess it up. But it says, to the degree to which a person can grow is directly proportionalized to the amount of truth he or she can accept about him or herself without running away. And I tell you what, that definitely speaks volumes about this community and the Pride EIG, who are willing, how far are we willing to go without running away or shying away or not opening up?
We're going to ask you to drop that quote in the comment section at some point so we can.
Absolutely.
I think that's something that we truly believe at HACE is that the more, confident, the more self-aware you are and being able to be true to who you are, the more effective, impactful, influential you become as a leader and as a person, right? And I think it takes the proper spaces, the proper resources, the right, supportive, respectful people to be able to unleash that in people, right? And I think that that's something why the EIG, such as Pride or other EIGs, are really charged to do, is to provide that space and that support where folks can really see themselves and that they're being supported, right, by this larger entity, especially in the time and place where we are right now, right? I know
that is true.
This is, it's not just, yesterday, right, the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, announced a state of emergency as it pertains to the LGBTQ community, being one of the largest advocacy organizations. And we're seeing a lot of LGBTQ legislation being passed. And we now more than ever, ACE, I know our ERG groups that we work with, want our community, especially our LGBTQ plus community, to know that we're here to support you, and that we have your back. But I would love your thoughts and your comments in terms of what you foresee EIG should be doing during this time, or what you all are doing during this time as well.
Absolutely. I feel, based upon, what is going around, like in even other companies, if it's not broke, they're not going to fix it. I've got problems that come up all the time throughout our lives, whether it be the pandemic, whatever it may be, there's always something going to be there. But I tell you, what I believe in my heart is that every single one of those events has made us stronger, either as a LGBTQ plus community, or the Hispanic community. Like, this brings us closer together. And I feel like we come up with solutions, and we come up with answers that we didn't even know that we need to have answers to. If it is always great all the time, we'll never change, we'll never grow. I'm a firm believer you grow the most in adversity, putting yourself out there and making yourself uncomfortable. Because how do you know what you can and cannot accomplish? Now, I feel like, Pride especially, one of the things EIG has put out is, realizing and understanding that we are strong. And when adversity comes rolling in and different ways of thinking come rolling in, that we've got to change. We got to mold. We've got to continue being us, but we also have to be innovative and, definitely think of answers and solutions. But I think the biggest thing that I've seen out of all of this stuff that always comes up anytime is you see a community come together and you hear their voices, you feel the strength, especially on the EIG, Pride EIG. You hear their voices, you hear their stories, you understand and you feel their families. And I feel like that it is something that definitely is needed in life to grow, is to change.
Yeah.
And when you change,
it's these times, right, that you're saying that then we can look at what are possible solutions, making sure that we're staying on top. And I love that way of looking at it. We have time for a question. And again, if you don't have your questions answered or you have any other comments or thoughts, please continue to drop them in the chat. One of my colleagues at ASA, Lisandra, what are some things, Shawn, that have made you feel like you can be yourself at Allstate that maybe other companies can mimic to ensure their employees feel this way too? I love that question. Shawn.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? I'm glad you asked that question, because at Allstate, what they do differently that I wish a lot of other companies did is they really, truly make you feel valued. They give you surveys, and they give you, last month, you could volunteer to put together a video of yourself and send it in to the Pride EID, and they're going to be showing it this month. They respond back. They have an entire team that responds back, and I tell you what, that makes every single team member feel heard, understood, and very valued. And I tell you what, you can work any job. If you feel valued and you feel like you have success, you'll thrive in that. And my biggest thing is, one, resources that they have, because there's so much resources out there. Allstate, they give you so many resources. It's overwhelming. You find answers every single where you go. You just have to have that drive and that want to find the answers and that to be successful.
Yeah. So shout out to Allstate, our leaders, our partners over there, all of the EIGs. We've had a long time partnership with the team over there. And all the great things that you all are doing to make sure that everyone feels included and there's equitable opportunities for all. So Shawn, believe it or not, it's our time to wrap up and for you to go back and enjoy your cruise ship. Anything you want to wrap
Absolutely.
up with in
That
terms
sounds
of
great to me.
what you're most hopeful for?
Yes, what I'm most hopeful for is the future that I'm going to, the future of life, of how much that I'm actually going to be able to experience it now that I'm with a company that I can live. I'm not working to live, I'm living. And I definitely have to say to everybody out there, know your resources. There's so many people with good hearts who are willing to help you with everything, whether it be money or knowledge or just whatever it may be. Reach out and just say help, because I will help you with anything that I can, any resource.
Oh no!
Like
Right?
know your resources.
We lost you for a
Did I freeze?
second, but we heard you. Know your resources. Shawn, thank you for your time, your insights, for sharing your story with us. And for all of those tuning in, thank you for joining us. Continue to engage in the chat. Happy Pride to everyone. Thank you. Y hasta la próxima. Until next time, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.